Well, it looks like Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler might be back on after Michael Chandler says big weekend of talks and clarity, new date loading. Today, we're going to talk about what this means for Michael Chandler and what his other potential matchups are if he decides not to fight Conor McGregor. So stick around to hear what's next for Michael Chandler. I'm Wyatt, and this is Fight Society. Okay, guys, so UFC 303 just took place. It was supposed to be Conor versus Chandler. Obviously, it ended up being Alex Pereira and Yuri Prochazka. But Michael Chandler was still in attendance for the event, as he was supposed to be in Vegas anyway for that week. And it looks like he is talking to the UFC. He says, big weekend of talks and clarity, new date loading. Now, what does this mean for Michael Chandler? Are we talking about new date versus somebody else? Are we talking about new date against Conor? Let's see what this means, because there is a lot of controversy surrounding Michael Chandler as to whether or not he should continue to pursue this Conor McGregor matchup, pursue Red Panty Night, or if he should just cut his losses, move on, and start looking towards the next big thing. Some people are saying that he could have made the Conor money by now if he would have just fought multiple times. But Conor McGregor has come out and said that Michael Chandler is getting a 10x payday for this fight. And so I can't fully blame Michael Chandler for wanting to just wait out, spend time with his family, and let this big payday come to fruition. But it looks like we have another possibility here, and that is Michael Chandler saying, I've been offered Islam Makhachev in October, but if Conor's little pinky toe is ready by September, let's do Sphere. Biggest sporting event in the history of sports, Riyadh season, hashtag UFC 306. There's a few things to talk about here. One, is Chandler capping about a title shot? I mean, maybe they say, hey, we owed him the Conor fight. He waited out for that one. We owe him something big. If the Conor fight's not going to happen, we owe him something big. Throw him a title shot, big payday. They probably pay him close to the same amount that he would have got for the Conor fight. And then move on in our way. We can book Conor against whoever we feel like. And even if Chandler pulls off a win against Islam, then you do Conor versus Chandler for the 155 belt, which, hey, it's not outside the realm of possibility. Now, the reason that this is even a potential matchup between Chandler and Islam Makhachev is that the all but confirmed next contender was Arman Tsarukyan. He is suspended until October 12th, I think, something like that. He's suspended for 9 months if he doesn't do an anti-bullying campaign. If he does do a bullying campaign, then it's 6 months. But it's because he punched a fan in the crowd at UFC 303 on his walkout to fight Charles Oliveira, where he won and got the #1 contender spot with that win. The suspension is now possibly going to cost him the title shot for now, as they might be giving it to Michael Chandler. I could see them giving it to Matus Gamrot as well. There's got to be something that they do with Islam in October. It's in Abu Dhabi. I assume that that's going to be the main event in Abu Dhabi, is going to be Islam versus somebody. I'm very convinced of that. Now, Michael Chandler obviously doesn't deserve a title shot. He's coming off of a loss. His last win was Tony Ferguson. It's obviously not, from a ranking standpoint or an integrity of the sport standpoint, it's not the right matchup. But given that this is prize fighting, I'm telling you, Michael Chandler at this point is a bigger draw than Matus Gamrot. He probably always was. But if Conor's not ready, or if Conor just wants to fight somebody else, they may have just given Conor an out of the Michael Chandler fight. And you know, what's crazy is that this dude Chandler is going to pass on a title shot for Conor. Like, this is next level down bad for Conor. Like, if Conor wanted Chandler to seem desperate for the Conor fight, God, he's doing a really good job of making Chandler look desperate. But I think that Chandler's the type of guy where he's like, hey, I want this payday. I don't have too much pride. Let me try to get this fight. With this said, Islam definitely wants new challengers, because given that this is the most recent that we also have Dustin Poirier. In response to someone saying part 2 against Islam, he said, if Arman can't go, let's fight again. And this is where Islam bounces back and says, no thanks. And then he follows that up with, I need a new target. If we're going to take it back to this right here, it makes sense that they'd give him somebody like Michael Chandler, because he's already fought Arman. He already has said in the UFC 302 press conference, he said he doesn't want to rematch Arman or anybody. Probably doesn't want to fight Dustin again after that tough fight. Throw him Michael Chandler. Easy win for him. In my opinion, probably an easy win for Islam. And then you can do whatever you want with Conor. And if Chandler wins, Conor gets a title shot in his comeback fight. So that's what I think about it, guys. I think that I actually like this idea. If Conor's not going to be back until 2025, if they don't have a slot for Conor until January, I think they should do Chandler and Islam. And then Chandler, give him the same payday that you were going to give him for the Conor fight, because it's in Abu Dhabi. You're getting a ridiculous bag from the UAE to put on those fights over there. Give Chandler a title fight, huge payday, give him the same amount of money that you were going to give him to fight Conor. And then if he wins, Conor gets a title fight in his comeback. If he loses, Chandler got his big payday. Conor can do whatever you guys want to do with him, but you don't have to keep Chandler out for even longer. And hey, at this point, I partially think he's earned it. I mean, not from a ranking standpoint, integrity of the sport standpoint, but I think he's earned it. Honestly, I mean, just from waiting out, I think that I wouldn't throw my hands up too much if this is what the main event of 308 in Abu Dhabi is. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below. If Conor's not coming back till 2025, I actually do think that Michael Chandler should get thrown in there against Islam Makhachev for a title fight. Islam wants a new target. He doesn't want a rematch. He doesn't want to fight Arman, I guess, because he wants a new target. He doesn't want to rematch Dustin. Gaethje's coming off of a loss. Oliveira's coming off of a loss. You can kind of do whatever, but in terms of guys that haven't fought Islam ever in the top of the rankings, you have like Gamrot and Michael Chandler, Beneil Dariush, and that's like about it for the top 10. Let's see. If they're just looking for someone for Islam for October, Sarukian, they've fought before. Oliveira, they've fought before. Gaethje coming off of a KO loss. Poirier, they've fought before. Gamrot, Chandler, Dariush. If you're going to give it to one of those guys, might as well give it to Michael Chandler. That's the biggest name value. Definitely above Gamrot and Dariush. Chandler will make a more fun fight than Dariush. Make a more fun fight than Gamrot. Fiziev is coming off of an injury. Max Holloway, they clearly don't want him at lightweight because they put him at number 9, even though he beat Justin Gaethje. And then everybody else, it doesn't make sense to put them in for a title shot. Even Chandler at 6 is kind of pushing it, coming off of a loss as well. But when you look at the landscape, it actually kind of makes a little bit of sense. If Arman Sarukian is suspended, if Islam wants a brand new opponent, fuck it, man. Whatever, give him Chandler. So that's what I think. They should give Chandler a title shot if the Conor fight's not going to happen at the Sphere. Islam versus Chandler, which none of us expected, potentially in October. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want extra content aside from my regular videos, make sure to become a channel member today to get access to members-only live streams and other bonus perks. Click the link in the description down below, or click the join button on our channel homepage. If you're interested in non-MMA content from me, make sure to check out my personal channel, Wyatt's World.